So we have just a little quick tech talk for you today. We are going to be talking about winning at passwords and how you can make a strong and unique password and how to manage those passwords. So you can go ahead and follow us on social media, and all of this information will be available on social after the Tech Talk is over today. And so with that, we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll pass it over to Henry to walk us through the first couple of steps.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Stephanie. And I really appreciate you as a customer showing up. Thank you to all of y'all who are online or watching this at a later date. This is really important stuff. And I didn't pick the word passwords are killing you lightly. The subject of how we do passwords in general is really important. It has never been more important than today. So what we want to kind of walk through first is, and by the way, we're going to be like in and out of here in about 10 minutes. So 10, 11 minutes. This is just a kind of a quick conversation. I wanted to make sure that we have with everyone and we'll get out of your way and get you back to work pretty quickly, but this is really important. So thank you for joining us. So first off, what's the problem? Why are we talking about this? And what are the overall issues that we're seeing with customers? And by the way, we do audits of our customers' computers. We do audits with prospects, and we talk with a ton of people and stay educated around the industry. So this isn't just what we're seeing, although we here at Turnkey Solutions do see a lot of these issues in our experience. But first issue that we've got to talk about and solve is weak passwords. Second is reusing those passwords. Third is the issue of passwords being stored in horrible places or shared in really insecure ways. These are all three of these are very serious issues. And you know, the biggest issue and the reason why it's such a scary thing. We'll walk through solutions. Don't panic. The biggest reason that these three kind of points are such a problem is that the hackers know we're doing it. The hackers know you're doing it. The hackers know that you have really terrible passwords, that you're using those same passwords everywhere, that a lot of people do, and that we're sending them in crazy places and texting them, emailing them in clear text, just taking care of our passwords very poorly. How that has resulted in and kind of a visual or just a hard number of what the hackers are doing with this is that is easy as kind of pulled from an IBM study that was conducted. They conducted every year. They look at companies around the world, organizations, nonprofits, governmental organizations, and they do a really powerful, very comprehensive study. What they found is that last year in the report, they found that the average cost of a breach of a company or nonprofit or government organization was $4.35 million. Now that was globally, all right. Here in America, what they found is that the average was $9.44 million. That's like $5 million more. Here in America, we have a really bad problem, okay? Now, why and how does this relate directly to passwords is that 81%, folks, 81% of company data breaches are caused by having poor password policies, poor passwords, period, and just doing this poorly. So if we could solve 81% of these problems by getting everybody to have good passwords and good password practices, we would make a massive dent in your company's safety, your personal safety, and really just the whole world would benefit from this. So we're going to hit 4 solutions and we're going to cover this again kind of fast. So kind of walking through this, the first thing that we have to do is, and this is just incredibly important, is having strong passwords. I'm going to hand this over to Stephanie. She's got a couple of visuals here that really, I think, kind of paint the picture very well. Stephanie, take it away.
Yeah, so a strong password can make or break you. And the passwords that you were using back in 2000, they're not cutting it anymore. So what would take a hacker back in 2000, 4 years to crack is now only taking about 42 minutes, and in some cases, 42 seconds we found on some sites that were able to find it even quicker. So that security one is just not going to cut it anymore. You need to have a very long and unique password. So with that, if you take a trick that I have, and just in 2 simple steps, you can take something from your memory, personal experience, and take about 5, 6 words and put it into a phrase that you can remember specific to you. And with that phrase, for instance, mine is got my first camera at 8. From there, I took that phrase and then took unique characters, numbers, symbols, and a combination of all of those to make a very long, unique, strong password. And with that, you have here where I show you that the password is 18 characters long. I can easily remember it. And probably the only person that is going to know this is probably my mom and dad. So it's something that's very unique to me. And no one should be able to figure this out easily. And hopefully it will take about 300 months for someone to crack this current password at our state that we're in now.
Yeah. So you mentioned that it take 300 months. That's a lot of years to crack that. There's some great websites out there that if you put a password into it, they'll tell you ballpark how long it takes it would take to crack it. What they're doing is they're running through all the computations that the hackers would use, all the databases of stolen passwords already. And you can put some really strong looking passwords in there and try them, and it takes like a second, it says, which is crazy because that what they're showing you is that really good password that you just came up with, that's already been stolen out there. So this is a phenomenally important first step to securing your passwords and doing well, is to have complicated, strong ones, long ones. Figure out a way that works for you. So Stephanie, I thank you. It's really good, solid advice. And by the way, Stephanie's put tons of really good advice like that, and things like what we're talking about today in today's conversation. She's put them on Facebook, Twitter, our LinkedIn, and our blogs. So if you want more resources and more guides for other ways to create security and just help things, look there. Now, look, step 2 is to change your passwords to unique passwords. You need to have a different password everywhere you go. Now, let me give you a simple example. If a hacker gets your password to Chick-fil-A, then if they've stolen that password, they figured it out or whatever, weak password, strong password, whatever it is, if they've stolen it and you have the same password at PayPal, they can get there right away without any work. So it's like the keys to your house. We want to have a different key for your house than what you have for the office. And obviously you have a different key for the office than what you have for your car or for your vault at the bank. Because if they get the password for one and they can use it elsewhere, it's cracked. They can get into it. If they can get from there, they can use the same password at Twitter, then that's unlocked. At MailChimp, that's unlocked. Why is that? Or why did I use these 4 examples, by the way? If you have accounts at any 4 of these companies, they've all experienced massive data breaches in December and into January. So if you're, just a quick little hint, if you have an account with Chick-fil-A or PayPal or Twitter or MailChimp, you need to go change those passwords. But if a hacker gets one and you're using the same password at your Netflix or your banking or something really similar or very close, that totally destroys the security of all the related sites, and the hackers are able to try those out rapidly and quickly and get through them. So step 2, unique passwords. Next step is turn on MFA everywhere possible. Let me give you the same example. If the hacker was able to steal your username and password for Chick-fil-A, and you have, now this is a bad example, but bear with me, if you're using the same username and password at PayPal, and the hacker goes there to log in, if you have multi-factor authentication or MFA, if you have that turned on, whatever the mechanism is, you get the text message or the pop-up on your phone or whatever, you're going to get that pop-up and it's not going to let them log in. They get your username and password, they're trying it from some other country, and you might get the pop-up on your phone here wherever you work or live. And as long as you say no, that wasn't me trying to log in, they're still stopped. So even with a bad password or a stolen password, MFA or multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication, that will stop the hackers from getting into your system or whatever it is. So then the fourth and final recommendation that we have is put a password manager system into your overall stack of protections, your day-to-day practice. What is it? We'll get to, but why would we even want to talk about that? Most of y'all have between 50 and 500 passwords that you have to keep up with throughout all the different parts of your life. Remembering 500 big, 30 characters, unique, complex passwords, like I got my first camera at 8, even though it's a really strong one and it's a phenomenal password, if you're anything like me, chances are pretty decent. You may not be able to remember 500 of those or even 50, or I struggle with like 3 or 4 personally. So you're going to have a hard time remembering those passwords. And you're going to also have a hard time of knowing and being updated regularly of which passwords are weak of all your 500 passwords, which ones are weak, which ones have been reused, which ones did you use at Chick-fil-A and PayPal, and maybe also which ones have been stolen. So there's a whole lot of problems with trying to do all these things really well yourself. What a password manager program does, and there's a lot of them out there on the marketplace, but what a good one does is it provides you a more secure way and place to store your passwords. And I'll caution you on this, if you set the password manager up right. Password managers, like any tool, can be used poorly. Okay, so you got to set them up right to make sure that they're going to help improve your security. It's going to show you what passwords inside its vault are in need of immediate improvement. So that's going to be incredibly huge benefit for you. It's going to also give you a simple and secure way to share passwords inside your company or with your loved ones or your spouse. Like I can share my banking passwords securely with my wife, or here at work we can share the passwords to maybe our uniform store or some other resources where everybody needs to be able to use that password and it gets updated and everybody needs a simple way to get the new one. A good password manager accomplishes that really well and keeps them secure. So wrapping up, so the 4 steps that we got to talk about and got to make sure that you understand and start working into your practice. And I bumped number 4 up to 0. Is I would wholeheartedly suggest you look at putting in a password manager into your practice, into your environment. Again, there's a whole lot of them out there. There's some good ones. There's some free ones even that aren't horrible. I'll give you a hint. The one in Google Chrome is not a phenomenal one right now at this point. It's not a good place to store your passwords. Step 1, change all your passwords to really strong ones. All of them. Sorry, I know all is a big word. Change all your passwords to unique passwords and turn on MFA or multi-factor on every site or system or program or computer that lets you. If it has MFA as a possibility, go turn it on. So that's it. That's what I wanted to come across. I really want to hear your questions. If you've got questions, if there's anything I can do to help with it, but it is really urgent. Again, kind of going back to the beginning, we're learning that 81% of hacks have something to do with really bad passwords. I know most people need help with this, and these are some 4 of the best, most solid pieces of advice I can give you. We look forward to helping. Stay tuned for our March webinar we're going to do on Microsoft 365 security. And if you'd like a copy of my book that we just released in December, go to turnkeysol.com/cyber-security-book. And request your free copy. It's on winning the cyber war. That's going to be the theme of all of our conversations throughout the year of 2023 on how to do things really well. We look forward to being of service to you. answering any questions. And if there's anything we can do to help, please let us know. Reach out to us at ask@turnkeysaw.com, 225-751-4444, or www.turnkeysaw.com. Thank you so much for coming. Please feel free to ask your questions and holler back at us. And if anybody has any questions now, we can take them now, or we can let you get back to work. Do we have any questions, Stephanie?
I don't see any yet, but I will be putting this online. So if you joined us late and missed any part of it, you'll be able to watch it again later.
Cool.
So be looking for that online.
Good deal. All right. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. And we look forward to talking to you soon.